What's up guys, NepentheZ here, and welcome to some potential flashback era cards that we could see in FIFA 21. I asked you guys on Twitter earlier on today some of the cards that you'd like to see, the eras that they'd be from, and the stats that they might have. And one thing that I love about what EA have done about the flashback eras this year is, as I'm about to read to you right now, it says this year we're also introducing flashback eras. Flashback era highlight a specific period in a player's career, which will see a unique version of the player released to reflect that time. These player items will now be released with more authentic attributes of the player during the highlighted period of their career, opposed to FIFA 19 and FIFA 20 when they just gave jacked up cards to everyone, which also has its benefits, of course. As an example, an experienced defender may have had a higher sprint speed in the past with a lower defensive awareness. As such, his flashback era item will have a higher sprint speed rating and a lower defensive awareness when compared to his base item. So what they're saying with that basically is we could see downgraded versions of cards, which I'm all for, and it's why I've brought you this video here today. Now, before we get into this, if you want to drop a thumbs up, it would be very much appreciated. Hit that bell to get notified, and let me know down below if there's anyone that you think should get a flashback era card and for what reason they should get that flashback era card for. And first up, guys, I've gone for Lionel Messi. Now, before we get into Lionel Messi, what I love about what EA have done with these flashback era cards is they basically have given 3 or 4 opportunities to give players flashbacks for. Number 1, it could be for one particular game or moment in a career. Number 2, it could be for a span of a career or at a club. Number 3, it could be for a breakout season, for example, someone like Messi or Ronaldo. Or number 4, it could be just for a singular season, which we'll get into a few of those kind of variants as we go through the video. So obviously it has a 93 rated base card this year. We have talked about this since flashbacks were introduced into the game. I personally would love to see a season 1 Ronaldo and Messi, or a rookie Ronaldo and Messi or something of those lines. And Lionel Messi in his first full season for Barcelona got 25 appearances, 8 goals and 5 assists, including 1 goal and 1 assist in the Copa del Rey, 1 goal and 2 assists in the Champions League in just 6 games, and then 6 goals and 2 assists in 17 La Liga games. Of course, Messi back then, we are going way back, way back now, obviously would have been way faster than he is now. He was a lot younger. His dribbling probably not as good as it is now because he wouldn't have been as composed, and that can be shown by the fact that he scored less goals and got less assists. And because of that, of course, his shooting and passing would be downgraded massively. Now, even if this came as an SBC, if this came as a season objective, or even if this was put into packs, I think people would love this, because what this would do is it would make a version of Lionel Messi affordable for everyone. So for those of you that can't necessarily afford to buy the 93 Messi, but you're massive Messi fans or massive Barcelona fans, and you just want to build the whole squad, what you'd be able to do with an 83 rated squad builder challenge Messi that's a flashback era is, you'd be able to put in, maybe he'd cost 50, 80, 100, 150k instead of millions of coins, and then you'd still have a version of Lionel Messi. And why I think that this will be really cool is because EA can allow some really fun squad building opportunities by offering downgraded versions of players. Now, the sad point about what we have here, as we'll see with the next card, and that is a flashback Cristiano Ronaldo, is that EA, from what I understand from previous years, don't have the rights to change the clubs. So we can't see a flashback Cristiano Ronaldo. This one here is for his 03-04 season, which was his first season in the Premier League with Manchester United. We can't see a Manchester United Cristiano Ronaldo, unfortunately. I think that would be absolutely phenomenal if we could. But yeah, sadly we can't. So it does kind of limit some potential with the flashback eras. But I've gone for, again, just another, not necessarily his breakout season, but his first season at Manchester United for Cristiano Ronaldo. Obviously, he played right wing for Manchester United in that season. According for Transfer Market here, he played majority of his games at right wing. And in this season, he only scored 6 goals in 40 games with only 9 assists in 40 games. He also got a red card and 3 yellows. And I remember Ronaldo in his first season at United, and he was one of those players that people were getting very frustrated with. Lots of skills, lots of tricks, and not a lot of end product. So he still had that extremely high pace, that extremely good dribbling. I would say better dribbling then than now, because he was a trickster. So all of the flair and such was really influential in his game back then. Now his dribbling, it's high still, but I think it's probably I think they're kind of being courteous to him for allowing it to be 89 still, because I don't think personally it should still be that high. But his shooting and passing back then was nowhere near as accomplished as it is now. And once again, how amazing would it be to just get a Cristiano Ronaldo, a nice low-rated one, an 82 rated Ronaldo, to have some fun with. You know, you could do objectives with it if you need to build Juventus teams or Portuguese teams or Serie A squads. You don't have to go out and put millions of coins into a Cristiano Ronaldo. You build an SBC Ronaldo for 100,000 coins or so, and all of a sudden you've got yourself an absolutely incredible player. So that was two players, guys, that we've seen so far, Messi and Ronaldo, for one season of their career. Next up, we've got a Gareth Bale card. Now, what I like about this Gareth Bale card is that this is for a game. Now, obviously, Gareth Bale as a left back could have had, Gareth Bale could have potentially, same as Messi and Ronaldo, but Gareth Bale could potentially have lots of flashback era cards. And the Gareth Bale that I would like propose would be a left back version from the game where he scored a hat-trick against Inter. Of course, they lost the game. But I went back and had a look at Gareth Bale's card from FIFA 10, which is the year that this 82 rated was scored. And he had a 76 rated left back with 82 pace, 72 shooting, 73 passing, 71 dribbling, 71 defending, and 65 physical. So when we're looking at what they said in their kind of text piece, a representation of the card then, this wouldn't be too out there to be. I think a lot of people are expecting to see a flashback Bale that's like super high rated, but you got to remember he was a lot younger back then. He wasn't nearly as accomplished player as he is now. And so even though I'd keep the pace and dribbling for Bale the same from that left back card to his current right wing card, his defending and physical obviously would be way more boosted because he was a defender. His passing is reduced because he wasn't notorious for his passing, but his shooting would be boosted because he scored a hat-trick as a defender in the game. So giving him that nice boost to his shooting for there, I think, again, that kind of card, even this is why I love the idea behind these flashbacks even for squad building, because even though it's not necessarily an absolutely insane card for a flashback, I think that's what kind of loses a lot of the motivation behind playing with flashbacks. If you're just giving people these jacked up cards that sometimes are not even representative of who they were, but just because of the way that EA used the upgrade system, it kind of loses its certain edge. But giving a left back Gareth Bale, could you imagine how many links he'd get, first of all, as a Spurs left back, but also as a Premier League left back? He would be one of the best left backs in the game today from day one if we got a card like this. I absolutely love Gareth Bale, as you guys fully know. I'm a big fan of him. He's definitely up there in like my top 5 footballers of all time for me personally. And I would love to see EA do a flashback era for him, quite something like this. Next up, guys, we have got James Rodriguez. Amazing to see him in the Premier League. And he could absolutely get a flashback era back to the World Cup that kind of took him from being a good on-the-radar player at Monaco after a good season to being an absolute superstar, getting picked up by Real Madrid, and even having like a sensational first season for Real Madrid, his first year after the World Cup. So he was at Monaco for one season, scored 10 goals in 38 games. His first season at Real Madrid, he scored 17 goals in 46 games. But of course, the World Cup is what set him alight. That volley is what set him alight. He got the Golden Boot award from the World Cup. He got the Puskás award, the Goal of the Year award, and the Goal of the Tournament award from that same goal, and scored 6 goals in 5 games and got 2 assists. Of course, now being in the Premier League, it would be amazing to see him have a nice high-rated flashback. And this is the differences between these flashback era cards that we could have now. He's obviously declined, supposedly, over the last few years. I think if you actually look at the stats and the things that he's won, there is an argument to be made there. He's shown already in his first few games at Everton that he is going to be a super player this year. And so we could flash back to a World Cup card for him. And I had James Rodriguez's card from back then, and I've kind of based the stats a little bit off that. I've given him massive dribbling and massive shooting due to the fact that obviously he scored that won the goal. He was a lot faster back then, and his passing maybe not quite as good. He didn't get too many assists, just 2 assists as a central attacking midfielder in 5 games in the World Cup. Not necessarily amazing, but obviously he scored 6 goals and nobody beat him for goals there. And there is a flashback James Rodriguez. Next up, guys, we have got Jermain Defoe. This was a heavily requested one from people on Twitter for the game where he scored 5 goals in the 9-1 win versus Wigan all the way back in 2009, which was in FIFA 10. All right, so obviously the way the game works, we're in 2020 now, we're about to get FIFA 21. And so that game in 2009, I believe it was the FIFA 10 game. Anyway, yeah, November 2009. So it was the FIFA 10 game. And I went back and Footbin still have his FIFA 10 card. And so even though his card today, although this is last year's card because we haven't seen FIFA 21's version of him yet, he's not in the top 1,000 players, but his FIFA 20 card still has 82 shooting and 76 dribbling, which showcases just how good of a player he is. I've given him the stats that I've given him there. You can see I've given him a massive downgrade in passing, a bit of an upgrade in physical, and a big upgrade in dribbling. And that comes from his actual FIFA 10 card. In FIFA 10, he had 87 pace, 83 dribbling, and 79 shooting, and 69 physical. So although it was called heading back then, not physical, but when I look at that card and I think, okay, so for scoring 5 goals in a game, I've given him a small pace boost, a small dribbling boost, and a small physical boost, and then a big shooting boost. And imagine a card like that, a nice 82 Jermain Defoe, he's English, so he'd link to plenty of players, 90 pace, 90 shooting. In the early stages of FIFA, that could be an absolutely phenomenal card to play so much FIFA with, and take you back to those days, whether you're a Premier League fan or a Spurs fan or whatever club you're a fan of that Jermain Defoe played for. I know he played for a fair few clubs. You could just have fun with a card like that. And that is what I'm personally trying to go for this year in FIFA, is trying to do some cool themed squads every weekend, every challenge, something new, something different. And EA could definitely cater to us for that with an 82 Jermain Defoe. And then last but not least, guys, we have got Pepe Reina. So for his career at Liverpool, where he spent about 8 years at the club, getting 4 assists in 394 appearances. But obviously, as a goalkeeper, that's not what's the most relevant. I feel like looking back at his cards in previous FIFAs when he was at Liverpool, he had an 85 rated, an 84 rated, and then some 83s before he moved on to Napoli and then eventually got back up to an 84 rated card. But when you look at his accolades at Liverpool, he won the FA Cup once, he won the Football League Cup once, the Community Shield once, and the UEFA Super Cup once. But in terms of his actual awards whilst playing for Liverpool, as you can see on the screen there, he won the World Cup with Spain whilst playing for Liverpool and 2 European Championships with Spain whilst playing for Liverpool. And I thought to myself, I don't really remember him doing much because obviously Iker Casillas was Spain's #1 goalkeeper. But when I look back at the stats in 2008, which the first European Championship, he played 3 games, 2010 2 games, and 2012 2 games. So he did actually appear, which is very, very good. Now that was just get appearances for Spain, but in his accolades, he has actually won these. So whether or not he got them just for being on the bench, he was still part of the squad that won the tournaments. And then he got 3 Golden Gloves in the Premier League, which is obviously the most clean sheets in the league, but in a row. So 2005 and 6 season, 6 and 7 season, and 7 and 8 season for Liverpool, he got the Golden Glove 3 times in a row. And this would be a cool flashback card or a flashback era card where it pertains more to a time spent at an entire club rather than a particular game or a particular season. And it would be really cool, again, just to bring in another nice goalkeeper, nice boosted stats there. Of course, at AC Milan now, so he couldn't have a Liverpool card. But it would be good to see some goalkeepers and defenders added into these flashbacks as well, instead of just the creative players and the attackers. And that is going to be it for today, guys. So there are 6 flashback era cards that I would love to see in FIFA 21. Let me know in the comment section below who you would love to see on the list for another potential video. If you guys enjoy this and want to see more, I've got Ibra for his one of his seasons at PSG. I've got Ian Robben for his time at Bayern Munich. Luis Suarez for one of his seasons at Liverpool. Mesut Ozil for his year at Real Madrid, where he was absolutely insane with Angel Di Maria. Wayne Rooney, Sergio Aguero, and Gerard Piqué for his Champions League win at Manchester United. If you want to see more though, guys, just drop a thumbs up on the video. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. I'm out. Peace.